All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the Jets' start to the season has been absolutely tremendous, and we know this as fans at this point. 6 wins on the year. They're winning away from MetLife Stadium. They are undefeated on the road, and by the way, they're playing in pretty hostile environments: Denver, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. I mean, these are big-time wins. I know those teams haven't really lived up to the expectations going into the year, but those are, to me, big-time wins for a young football team like the New York Jets. In some cases, the Jets have been 2-score underdogs, and they're still walking away with W's. Okay, a big reason why is because of the players, the talent, right? Some of the seasons that these guys are having is flat out awesome. Sauce Gardner, what he's doing speaks for itself. CJ Mosley is kind of the quarterback of the defense, just racking up tons and tons of tackles. Carl Lawson rushing the passer, LaMarcus Joyner in the back end. Quinnen Williams looks like an absolute all-pro. We got Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, really doing a lot of damage, coming in as a rookie. I mean, this team has a lot of talent, but with that said, I do feel like there's a handful of guys, 3 guys specifically, that need to be talked about. The 3 unsung heroes of this 2022 Jet squad. And in this video, I wanted to really put the spotlight on them and talk about their good seasons, their underrated seasons. Of course, Sauce Gardner, Zach Wilson, a lot of these guys are headline grabbing. A lot of people are going to be talking about Quinnen Williams and CJ Mosley and whatnot. But these 3 players, I feel like without them, the Jets would be in hot water. I wouldn't say the season would be over or anything like that. I don't think it's season altering, but these 3 guys they've been core pieces. The first player, Greg Zuerlein. I know we're not talking about quarterback or running back here. We're talking about kicker. But man, when I look at what Greg has done so far this season, he has been great. 20 of 21 with extra points. An underrated part of a kicker's game is just knocking the extra points. 16 of 19 with field goals. He's hit 4 50-plus yard field goals. That is big time. That is huge, especially for a new acquisition at kicker. It's kind of been somewhat of a revolving door, somewhat of a turnstile these past couple of seasons. Haven't really found the guy. But man, when I'm looking at what Zuerlein has done this season, totally impressed. By the way, he's been perfect from 20 through 40 yards. So the quote-unquote automatic kicks, the chip shots, if you will, those are all being nailed. And I know it's easy to say, oh, okay, a kicker should be hitting a 25-yard field goal. They should be hitting a 35-yard field goal. We have seen team seasons come down to the kicker, right? In a tight AFC race, where we have a myriad of different teams all right around the same record, that 5-6 win mark. I mean, you have got to make sure that the special teams unit doesn't mess it up for you. If you're getting into the red zone and you don't score that touchdown, the quarterback takes a sack. You want to have confidence that your kicker can go out there and get those 3 points for you, no matter what the situation is. And again, I feel like Greg has not only shown efficiency, but he's shown dependability in both extra points and field goals, and he's also shown length. Again, 4 50-plus yard field goals. That is big to me. Okay, so player number 2 here is Michael Carter, the cornerback. I know it's so easy to talk about Sauce Gardner and talk about DJ Reed. I mean, what a great free agent acquisition that was. Jordan Whitehead Joyner at the back end of the defense. The pass rush has been crazy. The linebacking core. But man, Michael Carter, I do feel like outside of Jetnation, he does not get talked about enough. I think if you take a second and you put yourself in opposing quarterback shoes, opposing offensive coordinator shoes, even head coaches, it's easy to say, okay, well, they have 2 really, really good perimeter corners playing at an all-time high. They have a good pass rush. They have some veterans on the back end of the defense and in the middle of the defense, especially when we factor in Quan Alexander as well. Where can we hurt this team? The slot. We can hurt them over the middle of the field, one-on-one coverage with Michael Carter, but that's not happening. That is not happening. I mean, we look at Carter's stats on the season. He has 31 tackles, 2 picks, 5 passes defended against with 2 tackles for loss in 9 games. And if you want to get technical with it, me personally, I don't really agree with this, but technically on paper, he's only started 3 games. But man, when we look at where the NFL is going with all the throwing, with all the rules hindering the defense, can't touch the quarterback, can't touch wide receivers, all these different things, and understanding the strengths of the defense all over the place, the back end, the perimeter, the pass rush, I think Michael Carter would be, by default, the guy that would probably be getting picked on. But again, that's not really happening. He's manning up. And by the way, this is year 2. He is not some 6-year veteran that signed a big year, big contract, coming over, big free agent acquisition. Year 2, late round pick out of Duke, coming off a great rookie season. But when I look at what Michael Carter is doing in the slot, I feel like he's an unsung hero that does not get enough credit outside of Jetnation. And last but not least, offensive lineman, right guard Nate Herbig. We all know the issues that the Jets have had on the offensive line, all the different mismatches, all of the injuries, Becton, Fant, Max Mitchell, Dwayne Brown, AVT now as well. It is... For that first chunk of the season, it was just in constant rotation, constant swing, who's playing where. And then Saleh eventually just came to the decision, you know what, I just want to get the best 5 out on the field. Let's take AVT, put him at tackle, and start Nate Herbig, a talented guy, obviously former Philadelphia Eagle. And I reached out to a bunch of Eagles fans when the Jets initially acquired him. Literally everyone was pissed. They're like, why do we let this guy go? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he's not a top 5 guard in football, right? I get that. But when you have a million problems, when you have so many things going wrong on the offensive line, there's no consistency whatsoever from a week-to-week basis, to be able to count on a newly acquired 24-year-old who's never really been considered a top 5, top 10, top 15 guard in football, to be able to say, you know what, you are a rock. We are depending on you every single game to produce in the middle of the middle of the offensive line rather. I think that is huge. We look at his numbers in the passing game. He's allowed 2 sacks over 594 snaps. That is awesome. He's been great in the running game as well, getting to the second level, showing off his athleticism, a really good fit for the offense. Nate Herbig. Again, is he a top 10 guy, top 10 right guard in football? Probably not. But when I look at what he's done for the offensive line, given the context of the situation, I think it is massive. And look, I could go down the list here and talk about guys like Braxton Berrios, what he's doing in special teams, Quan Alexander. Again, this is why every Jet fan out there was pounding on the table, please sign Quan Alexander to a 1-year deal. He wasn't going to cost a lot, and he would bring so much value to the defense. This is why we are seeing that on display every single week at linebacker. He's done so much: leadership, tenacity, violence. There are a lot of players that, in my opinion, deserve credit, but to me, Greg Zuerlein, Michael Carter, and Nate Herbig are the 3 unsung heroes of this Jets team. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who are your guys that you feel like don't or aren't getting enough credit? But the good news is, you know what, no matter who's getting the credit, it doesn't really seem like the Jets have like that selfish personality on the team. We don't have any divas, if that makes sense. Maybe you can say, hey, like, what's going on with Elijah Moore? Granted, but we don't have a guy in the locker room that's finger pointing and deflecting the blame onto the staff and to the other players. So it's awesome. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.